Okay, hopefully we're restarting. We're up and running now again. I don't know if we have sound. Trying to find out if we're live or not, what the story is. Okay, thank you. All right, it looks like we're live again, finally. And let's see if we can get underway here. Oops. Okay, we're back in business. All right. Anyway, I don't know what you heard or not, or didn't hear before. So what I've seen or heard, and I forgot one species, I've seen pigeons, American robin, yellow warbler, red-winged blackbird, song sparrow, purple martin, American crow, wood duck with ducklings, and tree swallow. I think that's just about it. I apologize for the problems we've been having today already and yesterday. Now we're on, as I mentioned before you could hear, we're going to be using a different camera today because the one we would usually use, I'm not talking about the one you're looking through, but the other camera that we normally use here in the car on Wildlife Drive is in the shop right now, being repaired. So we're, and this one sometimes has problems when we switch cameras. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but it may happen. It's the camera we used last night, but the problems we had last night, I believe, were unrelated. And all sorts of problems last night. Some that were pretty weird, to be honest with you. Oh, I may have heard earlier. Did I mention song sparrow? I may have heard earlier a warbling vireo, but I wasn't sure. It is, according to my thermometer, 59 degrees right now. It's a little breezy, pretty sunny. It's a pretty day overall. Maybe too sunny for my taste. But we'll deal with it as best we can. Not sure what I just saw. I couldn't really tell. Oh, I just heard a marsh wren. Just saw a red-winged blackbird. Marsh wren again. Oh, I did hear a common yellowthroat earlier also. So there. Wasn't very close, but I heard it. I was not happy with the way things turned out last night from a technology standpoint. I don't like having to close things up early because we're having so many problems, but that's what happened yesterday. Have to say, we had some looks at J2 last night. That hawk is beautiful. Actually, all three. I mean, is it any more beautiful than the hawks we've seen in prior years? No. Again, I don't know if I'm going to have problems when if and when I switch cameras. So please, we have to be patient today. And if we do have a problem, I have to ask you all to just stick with conversations related only to getting the broadcast back up and running, rather than anything else. Okay, just heard a swamp sparrow. And don't get me wrong, you know, normally I don't mind, you know, the other conversations, but I've had so many problems, technical issues lately, and want to, you know, I want to keep everybody able to see and hear as best I can. What am I hearing? Am I hearing? I'm not sure what I'm hearing. Boy, it's not really, really windy. Oh, there's a great blue heron. It's not really, really windy. Hold on, I've got to dust off my screen here. But it's windy enough that, like, if I open the other side window, a fair amount of wind comes through the car. I'm not sure if I'm hearing, it almost sounds, I shouldn't say, I was going to say it almost sounds like eastern kingbird, but I'm not sure it is one. This whole bicycle path, walking path is just wrong here. They shouldn't have it. That's not if they're worried about the wildlife. It actually is causing a disruption, in my opinion. Not sure who was making noise just a moment ago. Oh, did I just... I don't know. I think I just saw a barn swallow. Not sure. I would have liked to have started a little earlier today, but by the time I got home last night, attended to some of the technical difficulty issues with potential remedies, it was getting late. Just heard another swamp sparrow. Pretty quiet so far, though, I would have to say. By the way, it does seem, really seems as if, you know, the Canada geese and the various, you know, throughout my travels and the areas who's that? Frequent. Oh, come on, you. It seems that they've really changed their pattern, and they're already, you know, maybe on potentially the pattern that has them staying away from the areas that they actually have to fly to. Not all. I mean, I'm still seeing some Canada geese, but things have definitely changed. Oh, did someone just run? I thought I may have seen something down at ground level there moving along. It may have just been something blowing in the wind, I'm not sure, but somehow I think it may have been someone really small running on the ground. But there's too much vegetation I can't see there. I think I might see a Canada goose way out there. Here's a Canada goose. This looks like, hold on. Shoot, flew away. That may have been an immature male, I'm not positive, male red-winged blackbird. I thought I saw a little bit of red at the shoulder. Great blue heron. Is that another great blue heron in the air? Definitely quiet so far. Annoying. Okay, now, hold on one second. Well, nothing really in view here. we don't see things. Look way out there. Nope, just vegetation. Looks like we might have a couple mallards way out there. I'm hoping we have some good sightings today. I'm not saying we will. I can never promise, of course. But I'm hoping that this is all worthwhile and that I don't feel like I would have been better off staying home. It's rare, but every once in a while, after a tour, sometimes after a tour, I do, find myself at home later, and I think, boy, that was a little disappointing in terms of how much we saw or whatever. But okay, so we have some Canada geese here. You can see some youngsters there that are really getting their adult coloration. Look at how cute. That one's pretty young though, still, on a relative basis. Cute. See, I mean, it's coming in, the coloration, but not fully yet. I'm hearing something. I wonder, is it? Not sure. Stop here for a moment, take a look with binoculars. We may have two eagles way out there. I can't even see them with the naked eye. Or it could be just one. Let's take a look. I'm not sure if that's one showing its head and tail or if that's two tails. That looks like an eagle, at least one eagle out there. Oh, and pied-billed grebe closer to home. And we're hearing more Canada geese here and there up ahead. Now these grasses here in the immediate foreground, they're in the way, no doubt. They're getting taller, and that's blocking our view of some of these birds that are close. So, like for instance, you can see again Canada geese with some relatively not really young goslings, but they don't have all their coloration just yet. I see, Canada geese with, young Canada geese that are getting their coloration and looking a lot, more and more like adults, maybe smaller, but like adults. Oh, I think I just saw another grebe that just dove. Oh, there it is. Another pied-billed grebe. And way out there, nothing. When I see them, I'm reminded of a photo I took. I've probably mentioned this before. A photo I took at Sapsucker years ago, before the tour even started, and it was at the Fuller Wetlands, actually. More Canada geese. And it had an adult swimming right alongside a juvenile who was getting its coloration. And oh, hold on. I think a mallard or two. Well, there's a Canada goose here swimming by, and then down here it took a couple of mallards at least. More mallards. Maybe it's, if I had to guess, maybe it's a mother and a number of maturing chicks. That's my guess. Another Canada goose. Anyway, I named that photo "Chip Off the Old Block" just because it looked like, an adult goose and almost like a younger twin, really, just having the same pose, the same swimming, same everything. Tree swallows flying around a bit. In the air, is that an osprey? Maybe. Oops. Shoot. Looks like an osprey. Flying like an osprey. Somebody, a white bird of some sort, flying around. Let me stop and take a look here around with binoculars. A couple pied-billed grebes. Let's look at the suspected eagles again. See if we can see them any better now. Where are they? Hold on, I gotta find them again. That looks like one eagle, I think. Just kind of, I don't know if it's lying down, but it looks like the tail on the left and the head on the right, but I may be wrong. Osprey again, the same one I believe. Oh, there may be two in the air. Looks like there are two in the air. Two ospreys. Just leaves, okay. Really aren't that many people here today either. I mean, there were some. And who knows, maybe everyone came in earlier than we did. I don't know. Another pied-billed grebe right nearby. Can't see it. Okay, sorry, lost it. It's right nearby. The grasses are not helping. Oh, black tern. Where'd it go? And I believe there's another one that I may have just heard. I'm not sure. Just saw a pied-billed grebe diving, and in the air, another heron flying by. I'm not sure if we've seen it before or not. Canada geese, various ages. Grasses. Can't see because I had to hold my camera out of the car. I couldn't see because of the sunshine on my camera screen, and the grasses didn't help. Sorry about that. This is probably one of our least exciting visits to Wildlife Drive. Really not much going on here. Rumor around town was that there was a loon here, a common loon, but I haven't seen it. Doesn't mean it's not here, I just haven't seen it. And it may have left for all I know. Or it could be that I've just simply missed it because either it's been too far away or maybe it's been diving. I know when the common loon was at Sapsucker Woods several weeks ago, I made a special trip to see it, and at first I thought it was either gone or at least not within view, and sure enough, it's not that it was completely out of the area, it just had, was spending more time below the water surface than above. Not sure if I see some ducks or... They look like ducks, but I'm not sure what kind. Maybe mallards, but I'm not sure. Hearing a song sparrow. Saw pinewood grebe diving. I mean, we haven't even seen or heard common gallinules or anything like that. Speaking of gallinule, here's one. The grebes. One just dove, sorry. Well, we're making good time. Not that we're here to make good time, we're here to see birds. It was a swamp sparrow. Hey! No, it's over there. I can't focus on it. Very quiet. Now, do the temperatures have anything to do with it? Possibly. If it can be believed, it's still 59 degrees. That looks like a red-winged blackbird. Turtles. That looks like a common grackle to me. And those may be starlings, grackle. And then some Canada geese. Still fairly young, those goslings. Let's keep going. Quiet day here on Wildlife Drive. One of the quietest, I think it's safe to say it's one of the quietest we've experienced, certainly for this time of year. Is that, you know, for a second I thought this was all, just, you know, the normal water, but covered with something. But now I'm thinking it really is dry. I think that's the driest I've seen in a long time here. You know, I can't speak for Montezuma. Not sure what that was. I can't speak for Montezuma, but you know, other areas, you may think somehow you leave this spring as we head into summer, thinking, oh, we've had a lot of rain. We haven't had that much rain. We had it, over a short period of time, I'd say earlier on. But since then, it hasn't been, there hasn't been that much rain. I'm not sure what that is calling, singing. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still some areas that seem like they have more water than maybe they would usually have, like specifically that area over there. And that's been true all spring, although often it starts out wet, but it eventually dries up. So more Canada, this is through the windshield, but more Canada geese over here. In the air is another great blue heron. And speaking of great blue heron, yeah, this is definitely drying up. Look, there's a lot less water in this channel. And there's the heron. Just heard a common yellowthroat. Well, I obviously I'm not a biologist, I'm not an expert, but you wonder, just have to wonder how much of this is a result of the draining that took place last year. I'm not saying that Wildlife Drive has been ruined, but in some ways it seems like it's we're seeing obviously a lot less. We saw more last year while it was being drained. And look at the Shockey Pool area. We haven't even bothered to go there in a while just because it's, there's so much vegetation around and the water areas are so distant that we go elsewhere. I just wonder if people are taking actions that don't need to be taken. At least I wonder that. Almost like, well, we have to drain an area this year. Well, maybe you don't, I don't know. We don't have a really, really dry summer. That I don't like. We didn't have one last year, but you may recall we had a couple of them in a row a few years ago. That was no fun. Dry the pond was at Sapsucker Woods. It wasn't good at all. was worried about switching to the other camera and what problems that would have every once in a while. We haven't had the need to switch to the other camera yet. Maybe we'll have better luck elsewhere. We'll see. There's no doubt. I mean, I've had days of bird watching, and you know, end up going home thinking, oh, boy, I really didn't see anything at all today. That happens. It's too early in the tour to say that, but you know, it's possible. I may have just heard a marshal. Maybe. Yes, definitely. Might be some ducks over here. Probably mallards if I had to guess. Look like, are they wood ducks? I think they might be wood ducks. Another duck here. Another one. Are they mallards? They might be mallards, but they're in the vegetation. Yeah, I can't see. I can hardly see them now. But they look like mallards to me. If I had to guess, they were a mother and young who are getting a little older. You know, given what we have been seeing today and over the last few weeks here, you know, it makes me wonder, should we maybe skip Wildlife Drive and go to other areas instead? You know, it's tempting. It's tempting to do that. But, you know, there's always such good potential to see something interesting here that I just hate to dismiss Wildlife Drive entirely. Still, I'd like to be seeing a lot more than this. Some kind of looks like another mallard nearby. Female. happens again. Patch of water, I see looks like a couple more wood ducks out there. Probably males that seem to be changing in plumage. Can't get a good look at them, just we've got vegetation on the way, actually. Break your hand. Not a great view, I'm sorry. This has been a disappointment, I'll be honest. And then, I like what we've seen, but we just haven't seen nearly enough. And certainly nothing out of the ordinary. It's driving me nuts. Of many species that we ordinarily would see that we just haven't seen lately. I mean, today or in a while here on Wildlife Drive. I mean, you think of things like great egrets and saw one gallinule today. We haven't seen really anything. We haven't seen any American coots, for instance. Not that we would see necessarily a lot of them, but you'd think we'd see at least some. Kingbirds, for instance. No, I mean, a lot of species really, nothing's around today. Either we're here at the wrong time. Now, you could say really sometimes the worst time to go bird watching is midday. If you can get there early in the morning or be there later in the day, late afternoon, sometimes you get the most activity. Okay, fine. But, it's not like today's a, 99-degree day. It's sunny, yes, but I mean, it's not hot and sunny. It's not unbearably, humid or anything like that. something that's driving me crazy, noise-wise. Might not fix it, but at least I'll feel better. Okay. Nope, didn't fix it. Okay, well, I know you were overwhelmed with so many birds, but that's it for Wildlife Drive. Just saw a robin. Just saw a black tern. With an osprey on the extension arm. Sighting luck will improve. We'll see. Time will tell. See a turkey vulture in the air. We didn't even see any turkey vultures flying around while we were on Wildlife Drive. Said earlier, I was very disappointed with the way things had to end on the campus last night. I just had one thing failing on me and managed to figure out something. I don't know why it happened. It never happened before, but managed to get things back up and running. And then something else gave out on me. I shouldn't say like completely gave out. That other something had to do with my my data plan. is I have an unlimited plan, but no one device has unlimited data. And as it turned out, the device I tried to switch to after the big catastrophe, well, it was already beyond its data limit, and the one I had been using earlier was having its own issue for some reason. I don't know why, what it was. And at that point, with both the problems, one problem having been solved, the other now working at a reduced data speed by default, we just couldn't have a good broadcast, and I couldn't do anything about it just then. Groundhog just ran across the road, but it's safe now. Towards Van Dyne Spoor again, and now last week we did eventually see, not very well, but we did eventually see the Sandhill Crane chick, the colt. You could just see its head, and unfortunately last week it was really sunny, and so the conditions for seeing it weren't good. Between the sun and the vegetation in the way, we couldn't see it very well. Well, unfortunately, who knows if the vegetation will be in the way, if it's assuming we get to see it at all today. But it is sunny at the moment, so. But the sun may not be too bad if the adults and chick are in the open and within a reasonably clear line of sight. And not too far away. Too fast. Yes, I know, too fast. We'll see if it's worth coming out here today. Last week we really didn't see much here. We did see the colt, but there were not that much variety really that we were able to see. Luckily, it's not too far away, and with the way things have worked out today, we actually have a reasonable amount of time because we just didn't see much on Wildlife Drive. Now reading 60 degrees, if you wanted to know. I saw 61 earlier, but now it's down to 60. one problem we have this time of year, you know, and I have made things worse by doing some of the test broadcasts that we've done, and instead of having them just 5 minutes, okay, everything's working, and then shutting everything down, you know, some of those broadcasts have been, you know, rather lengthy, and that's fine, except that it uses up the data plan. So I finished it up that much faster with that one device, and that is of the devices I have, it's my favorite one. It just seems to work the best overall. And I struggled to get things running today, but eventually things were working. I hope they're working okay. See some brown-headed cowbirds, 3 of them. Oh, they just took off. Shoot. They're on the wires. I looked with binoculars, okay, fine. Verified that they were cowbirds, and then they're gone. I wasn't sure, but now I know. I see a car up ahead, heading back this way. Pretty quiet, you know. Okay, that was, I believe, was that a yellow warbler? I think it was. I mean, weeks ago we were here and we heard a lot of singing. Not a lot of singing today. That's a catbird. We didn't even hear a catbird at Wildlife Drive. At least I didn't hear one. Just heard a veery. I think that's a robin. Driving over this, gravel and dirt makes so much noise. Just heard a tufted titmouse. Yep, yep. There's actually there are at least two vehicles. There's one that's on this stretch, maybe the shadow, and another vehicle moving along, kicking up a lot of dust way up there. We'll be closing our windows as we drive by, just so we don't get so much dust in the car. Hey, out, fly, big fly. In fact, we'll close the windows now. Oh, there are actually three vehicles that I can see right now. The shadow. I don't know what that was. That might be, that might have been American Red Star, I'm not sure. Was that, might have been. The shadow. Just heard a wood thrush. And we're hearing a vireo. I'm guessing red-eyed, but I'm not positive. I don't know what those orange things are on the road up ahead. Look like oranges. Red-winged blackbird, and I just saw a different one. And I see a number of tree swallows. Oh, just heard common yellowthroat, sorry. Maybe more than one wood thrush, by the way. I'm not positive, but maybe. Just heard yellowthroat again. Song sparrow. You know, I find myself looking mostly at that area where we saw the sandhill cranes last week and the prior weeks, but really, you know, I imagine they're all more mobile now that the, you know, the cold is up and around. And they may not even be here. They may have walked to an area where we can't see them any longer. I'm not sure. No sign of anybody yet, not that I see. Maybe what we should just do, because it's easier for me to see a Canada goose, is to you know, go all the way to the end of the road and turn around and look through my driver window, which is, like I said, easier for me to when I'm looking around for things. Some more Canada geese in the distance by the looks of things. Or maybe some mallards or some kind of ducks. We'll get to them. Assuming we go to Sapsucker Woods later on, I think we'll do the same sort of setup we did last week. It seemed to work pretty well. See a great blue heron. Maybe another one out there. And another one closer. And another one. Out there. Okay, so and more than I can list. We'll get to them. It's not like there are hundreds of them, but there are, certainly a significant number of them. Oh, I see. What do I see? Duck and ducklings. Let's take a quick look. No, I don't know. That's not a mallard. Could that be a redhead? That might be. I thought I saw more than just one and one, but maybe wrong. I'm not sure if that was a redhead or not. Tough to tell. Are things drying up out there, or is it that it's just a coating of, like, green stuff floating on the water? I'm not sure. I think it may, I don't know. Tree's hollow. Hold on, my screen got all dusty again. Okay, that's better. I believe I just saw also a. I may have just seen an eastern kingbird. Now I see something white out there. Just heard a swamp sparrow, but I see something white. I'm not sure what it is. Let's take a look as best we can with this camera at first. Looks like a swan. Who's this coming along? Come on. I believe it's a gull. I'm not sure what kind. Looks like a gull. Another gull. Cormorant there, I believe. Double-crested cormorant. Okay, let's see if we can switch cameras without too much calamity and take a look at a few things. Okay. And hopefully we're live now, and hopefully we'll stay live. If I lose you, be patient. Ready? I'm not ready. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Wait 1 second here. Okay, hopefully we're still live.